Hailing from one of America's most famous political dynasties, the nephew of former President JFK is a former Democrat turned independent candidate who became one of Donald Trump's highest profile supporters.
And don't you want a president who's going to make America great again?
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been rewarded for dropping his bid for the White House and endorsing Donald Trump by being nominated to lead the Department of Health and Human Services.
He's going to make us a healthier place. We're going to let him go wild for a little while, then I'm going to have to maybe rein him back. Because he's got some pretty wild ideas, but most of them are really good, I think.
RFK Jr. has promoted disproven theories about childhood vaccines. In Samoa, he's been accused of fueling vaccine scepticism ahead of a measles outbreak in 2019 that killed more than 80 people, many of them children. He rejects that allegation and insists he wouldn't use his position to block vaccine access. But some public health experts are alarmed.
He'll do everything that he can to dampen trust in vaccines. This is a catastrophe for the United States, but also for the world, because he's not just influential here, he's influential everywhere.
The vaccine organisation RFK Jr. founded is publishing a children's cookbook with Australian celebrity chef Pete Evans, who's previously been accused of spreading medical misinformation.
I sleep like a baby. I never show up late for work.
In the US, RFK Jr. has attracted a social media following under the hashtag Make America Healthy Again.
It's a party, it's a party, it's a party.
Along with what he says would be a crackdown on Big Pharma, he's focused on the US food industry, pledging to impose new limits on additives and scrap ultra-processed foods from school lunches.
One of the challenges very frequently with people who are big spreaders of misinformation is that some of what they spread is good. If we had a secretary who said, let's take on childhood nutrition, that's great. But you want to make sure that they're coming in and saying, let's bring in the best and the brightest around this topic and make sure that as we're doing this, we're not pulling in ideas that may not be based on science, maybe based on fear or misleading information.
RFK Jr.'s appointment still needs to be approved by the Senate, and the Republican Party is set to take control of the chamber. But the confirmation process is likely to involve public hearings, where his record and policies will come under further scrutiny. Donald Trump's power on Capitol Hill has already been tested, with another one of his controversial nominees, Matt Gaetz, withdrawing from being considered for Attorney General after Republicans demanded details on sexual misconduct allegations against him.
The end of the Matt Gaetz nomination could play out in the form of the Senate willing now to confirm whoever is put in front of them. Although, interestingly, the Senate was sort of able to ward it off before it came to an actual no. So whether this, in fact, means that they are still rigorous and moving through the candidates in a meaningful way, considering the candidates in a meaningful way, remains to be seen.
A political challenge ahead, but one that could lead to major changes to America's health system. Jade McMillan, ABC News, Washington.